Welcome back to the Yoga Sciences podcast and YouTube channel. Today I have Bonni-Lynne Sandler. She is a yoga therapist. She does body work and she teaches yoga. She also does Reiki. She has 5 children. It's pretty amazing. She has an amazing story to share with us, and she's currently running Heart and Soul Yoga Therapy. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your expertise and your experience in this field.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Editing to do. So if I jump out too, you can edit it, right?
Okay, now we're good. Okay. All right, so let's start with your story, like how you got started with Reiki, Bodywork, yoga therapy, yoga, like in general. What came first, and how did you get started with the other ones?
Well, that's a great question and a long story, but I'll keep it as brief as I can. With the birth of my last child, it was a C-section. They made a surgical mistake, and long story short, I guess, is that Western medicine failed me and Eastern medicine did not. And they told me I'd be in a wheelchair by age 40, and that didn't happen. So that started me. I believe that holistic healing was the way to go. It worked, and so I shared that with others. And I changed careers at that point when I was injured, and then it went from there. So. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So how did Heart and Soul Yoga Therapy, that's a really cool name. How do you do, so with all those things that you do, like for your sessions when you work with your clients, do you base it off of what they need, or do you do like a combination of those different type of modalities?
Well, for the yoga therapy side of the business, it's like 2 different sides. For my particular practice for yoga therapy, there's not a lot of yoga in it. It's a little bit different, but we do like an initial interview and create a treatment plan based on the koshas, the 5 bodies of beings, and it's their needs. I tend to work with people with, that are healing from addiction, from grief, trauma. Bring me your hungry or tired for. I'll work with anybody that's willing to do the work. So yeah.
For Reiki, so tell us, how can Reiki fit into the whole thing? Like, I know a lot of yoga teachers are Reiki practitioners, Reiki masters. Yeah.
But I guess for me, it's part of that treatment plan is deciding which modalities will work. But in all honesty, it kind of wraps into a package. It all happens, in a yoga therapy or yoga class. At the end of class, if people are appreciative or accepting, and it's all trauma sensitive too, of adjustments or Reiki at the end, and they'll have that. And in a session, it's, these modalities, it's like I have a bag of tricks that about what I need, There's a lot of talk as well. So, so I'm a trauma therapist too, so that comes into it, and my background is special ed. So people in general, they might think they're coming from massage, but we all have issues in the tissues. If you're familiar with that theory, it's not theory, it's proven science. So holding our issues within our tissues and mindful movement, body work, it will issues leave our tissues. So yeah, I explain that to people. They're like, really? I mean, and I may not be the biggest fan of. I actually do work with a lot of therapists, but talk therapy, it's great, but it's not quite enough. There's something and I'm the and, I guess. Yeah. I mean, my clients are actually therapists and psychiatrists too, so they come in, I'm like, hi, it's always fun. I mean, these modalities work. It's all ancient stuff, and it's good stuff. It works.
So you mentioned Bodyworks. Can you talk more in detail about how Bodyworks work? How is it different than the other ones, like yoga therapy or Reiki?
So, yeah, I guess yoga therapy there's just so many different ways that yoga therapy is done. I can do a yoga therapy session that is based just that people are doing yoga, and you know, like today I'm teaching yoga therapy for anxiety. That's a group class. A private session is very different. You know, somebody may come in because they've had experiences in their past where they were not treated kindly, and touch is scary for them. So therapeutic touch is a little different. I do Thai massage body work and myofascial release. Myofascial release is every cell in our body has emotional intelligence. So as we release these issues, we release the muscles and the fascia, a lot can happen. A massage should never hurt, nor should any kind of body work. So it's a very gentle, yeah. The theories are a lot different than what a lot of people think. If it hurts, don't. It's one of our rules. Yeah.
So body works involve like touching, right? Feeling and
yeah. Myofascial release is kind of famous in most parts of the world, except for some reason Western Mass. People don't know about it, but Tom Myers did the anatomy trains, and the entire body, it's a spiral. You know, there are no straight lines. Muscles don't go in a straight line, and these any injury, and an injury could be, I could, you know, turn my head quickly, and that would create an adhesion. So as we release these layers, sometimes I think of it like a sticky note. You know, if you have a sticky note, the body should slide and glide versus being glommed up together. So releasing those adhesions, that's helpful. People feel much better, especially, you know, people have pain, which I think everybody has a little bit, almost. Maybe that's just that regulation, I don't know. And then it never goes, they're never separate. It's always one package, emotional, physical, and spiritual, no matter what the spiritual is. So it happens when you work with trauma and addiction and you're free forever, but I think everybody's got a little, we're all healing is what we say. We're all healing, and if you don't do it, those are the rules. You're getting a little, your connection's a little.
Okay. So myofascial.
So
myofascial release. So how many? Okay. So how many sessions would a person need to be able to like really kind of be able to adapt to the effect of this type of therapy or treatment?
So yeah, I mean, I see what your kind of confusion might be, is that it's just all wrapped into one. If it's just myofascial release, the prescription is supposed to be for 12 sessions. And for yoga therapy in general, no matter what the issue is, you know, what somebody's trying to heal from, I don't want them to come to me for the rest of their life. I love them, but you know, that's not the idea. I'd like to empower people, and healing is key. If somebody sees me for more than 12 to 15 times and they're not doing what they need to do, I did teach special ed for 15 years, and I taught health. So if they don't do their homework, it doesn't work. It's not all on me. So about 12 to 15 sessions, but some people, you know, it's 2 and they're good to go. And I have some people that see me for 3 years. It's sometimes we have something happen, and another thing happens, and then there's a lot of things that happen. If we don't deal with life as it happens, you know, so.
That's so true. Speaking of dealing with life as it happens and sessions, I want to start jumping into how this, you know, pandemic affect your practice, and how do you feel about it, like in terms of now that you have to do sessions more at home versus, you know, going to a place, or people come to you for physical sessions?
It's been very difficult. Heart and Soul is, you know, we're like a family. I always say we can't pick our family, but we can, you know, pick our yoga family. People are not, my clients and my yoga community are not really adapting well to this. They definitely want to have the face-to-face. Most of the yoga classes have a component where people talk and then move. That is the premise. And then after class, they don't want to leave either. I'm always sitting on a couch and have, you know, soda or something after. So they're not loving this, and they've been thrown. A lot of people have been thrown. I've had some And sadly, some clients have relapsed, and some are, some kids self-harming. So, I mean, it's not my responsibility, but it makes me sad that this is happening. As far as the online classes, it's
that's
yeah.
unfortunately, I mean, what can we do? We can't just the energy that as you're working with those clients in person versus remotely. You know how they say, people do, even before this happened, people were doing remote energy work, remote Reiki healing sessions. So from you, of course, experience working with both people physically and also remotely. So what is like the difference that you're feeling and you hear from your clients feeling in terms of the difference energy wise working in person versus through like a screen?
I could think of an analogy. I mean, it's like having sex or watching porn. So that's what came to my mind first. I mean, it's just not the same. You get the same effect, but I mean, you can send Reiki long distance, but you need permission. That's really important. And people that just haven't been very interested in it. I sadly, so for my business and both sides of it, this has not been good, and for my clients and students, it's not been good. I have a few. For some reason, they like to text me better. When am I going to charge them by the text? I mean, I'm here for people if they need me, and I'd say 80% have said, we'll wait till the studio's open again, and that's the way it is. And then I have others that are checking in every week. I'm not charging for yoga classes, and I have the teachers that are teaching. They're all teachers that I personally train. That's another side of the business too, is I do trainings. They've agreed to do it for service work. So we were just talking about charging recently, just like $10, because our time is worth something too. But it felt nice in the beginning to give this away as from our hearts. And for the sessions, the fee is not the same, because the energy work, it's not the same. I mean, you can do a little bit of it, long distance Reiki. I can definitely do a reading, an angel card reading, or help somebody feel better. But I don't feel that I don't see the long-term effects happening through a video situation. Maybe it's just wicked or something, but it just doesn't feel right to me. I know from getting in touch with every client I have from age 12 to 70, they all said, no, wait. They just check in with me. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So true about how they respond to you. Yeah, it's so true that you mentioned how the way they respond to you, like they prefer texting. Even with my work as an occupational therapist, people like it's just easier for them to get a text response than versus a call response, and so it's different, and not a lot. It's really difficult to be staring at a screen for too long.
Yeah, and nobody really wants to. Nobody uses the phone anymore. I mean, people don't talk on the phone. At least 30 and under, I guess. And this is a lot for some people. If somebody's struggling with self-esteem, so whatever, this is a lot. They've got to talk to a face, and it's just. I mean, one thing that I didn't mention before, it's just kind of a joke, but it's really true, is as people are laying on the table, when they turn face down, and a rapport has to be established first. Clearly, it's just a little different than a regular massage. I mean, this is the time when everything, the words that they've never spoken before come out. So the trust is there. We built a rapport. It's very therapeutic, and then so they're not even looking at me half the time. And you only got to tell that story one time, and then it's done. And there's some good stories I hear, but it's such a relief for people to say them to somebody who's not going to judge them, and it takes a lot to faze me. If I'm upset over it, they won't know. Later on, how can people do such things? So you just can't replicate that. That part, no. For classes, it's the same thing. It's that kind of. I think it's because of the population I work with. I mean, I've been taking some online classes with some teachers that are, that I trained with that are in other places. So that's been nice to reconnect. But I got to be honest, I'm getting bored with it. I don't know if other people are this way. I hope that the world of yoga doesn't go online. I like it as an option. I am thinking of keeping a couple of classes, Zoom classes, but I really hope that connection is important.
Yeah, it's definitely important. And it also depends on how the classes are structured too, like depending on what your goals are for the class. That makes a difference too. And if it's just like you just do teaching, going over the sequence, and that can be just put online and you can like basically let it run like as a course. But then if you're really dealing with the one-on-one component, you know, really working with the energy, sometimes you kind of need that up close in person to be able to feel and work on that person.
Yeah, one of the classes I'm surprised that it hasn't been going very well online is we have a recovery class. It's recovery from trauma, addictions, from life, but most people are in recovery from substances. And that class in person is run with like kind of like an AA or NA meeting in a way, but we are not affiliated with AA or NA or no replacement. But then, you know, people talk and they're still in this whole, my name is so-and-so, but I'm an addict or whatever. And then after that, we hit the mat. We take it to the mat. There's no cross-talk. There's no hugging because that breaks the trauma release. And it's highly effective. You know, they're not coming on. It's like, and I've heard too is that they're not liking the NA meeting. So online. So it's really interesting. Is think of addiction as a disease of disconnect anyway, the self and others. And so this is a disconnect right here for a lot of people. You know, I could kind of sense your energy, but if it was in person, it's better. So, but those most classes are run that way, not most, but a good portion. There are some teachers that are, you know, teaching a regular yoga class. I was surprised too that some of the teachers refused to do it at all. From the studio, they're just like, this is too much for me. You know, and I respected that. If it's too much for them, that's fine. You know, they're dealing with their own, you know, there's a range of how people are dealing with COVID. You know, post-COVID, I don't know if I'm going to reopen. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I'm going to definitely open the private side as soon as possible. My husband he has a heart condition, so I got to be careful. Yeah, but I'm confused by the whole thing. But I'll definitely open the private side and then maybe slowly. I have a large space, so I have that benefit of the 6-foot rule. But we're huggers, you know. It's like we ask people, "Are you huggable?" That's not a running joke. But you know, these are the people that they need that. So it's going to be interesting. I think people are so disturbed at the point. They're like, I don't care. I'll just get this thing and just let me out. But yeah. And I hope to get people to come back. It's, of course, as a business owner, that's a concern. In this particular location, I've been there for 2 years. I had another studio in another part of the state. I call it the other Massachusetts. But so we'll see. You know, we're a building community, but we're close. So.
Seeing how some are willing to transition, but still kind of craving for that, the old, it's like that kind of the original way of doing things. And then there are some that it's like, no, I'm not going to transition, I'm not going to pivot at all. Like, I like the way that I was doing things before.
Change is difficult, you know. Change can be good, but it's difficult. And if you, again, to go back to the general population that I work with, they've been through a lot. And to say, okay, now we're going to do this. Wow, there's this scary thing out there, you know. It's all been a lot. And yeah, texting, and then I pick up the phone, and it's like, you know, and I'm not going to turn them away. If that's how they want to reach out now to keep that connection, I'm okay with that. I mean, I talked to somebody last night. I'm like, you know, I was having online classes. Like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, how many texts and emails I sent. So it's you know, maybe they just didn't expect it. It's really weird though.
Yeah.
You know, with marketing is a big deal. You know, it's like, and it was in the paper, it was some show, I'm like, oh, whatever. I think that people are very, I know that I'll be busy after. I think people, this is, you know, COVID is the definition of trauma. We don't know anything. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when we're going to be leaving, for real. We still don't know. It's like we have a parent that's not completely stable. You can, I don't know, you can edit that as needed, but it's true. You know, it's out of our control, and that is trauma. We're not
definitely
our circumstances. So the
right.
more I was trying to get people to structure their day, I've been asking people to, I'm going to have breakfast at this time. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to go to this yoga class on Zoom, and you know, so that we have some structure. Yeah, it's
Right, yeah. Planning and like kind of just it's like a lot of changes with the whole routine and planning and it's just the thing is it's not as simple as okay, I'm just or you're voluntarily transitioning from physical practice to online practice or it just an addition is kind of like you're forced into it and there's other things involved like dealing with the virus, caring about other people and trying to just shop without crowded with people or running out of supplies. So there's like so many different things at the same time happening and at the same time you're changing the way that you're practicing for many, many years. And it's like all at once just hits you. So that's a lot.
I mean, like the restorative yoga with Reiki and massage, I have done the best I can to make that. That's not ever going to be, that's just not that doesn't work that way. You know, you can't have that class online. But we've done the best we can. I'm like, imagine,
Oh, yeah.
That's when actually people have been showing up for the most. But go figure it out. You know, there's a lot of classes that they're unique. It's not, most of the people at HeartnSoul also they don't have a strong practice yet. We're working on it. We're trying to get them addicted to the best drug. It's yoga. But so I track beginners as well. So like you and I, we have to have our yoga. So they're getting to that point. So most people will practice once or twice a week. But that Monday night class in particular, like it's usually has 20 people in it. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I do have a large studio, but I could probably have 10. So maybe I'll open another section of that one. We'll see how it goes. You know, it's unknown for me too. So
I know.
I like it.
So definitely let us know when those changes happen so that we can keep everybody updated.
Yeah. Well, for now there are classes every night, and different teachers are teaching them. I do the yoga therapy classes. Yoga therapy for anxiety is tonight. There's a women's empowerment group, and we're still doing the recovery classes, whether we have 3 or 1. I mean, I'm happy to teach one person any day of the week. You know, I'll never say, "Oh, it's just one, go home." And people will say that to me. They're like, even at the studio, if it happens to be a day when one person shows up, I'm more than happy. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but sometimes yoga teachers will be like, "Oh, I'm not going to teach." I'm like, "What? How do you lose a student?" You know. So if there's one, I've had a range. We've had 10 people on Zoom, and we've had none. And that's, I guess it's kind of like any class. It's the time, this is not a great yoga season anyway. I mean, so we go out, we play. I usually teach on the mountain or in the park at this time of year. So hopefully some of those things can happen in June. You know, but for now the classes are separate. They're offered free of charge. And sure, tune in, come in, anybody's welcome.
That's awesome.
I've been leaving the Zoom rooms open, which I only got Zoom bombed once. If you've heard of that, it was chair yoga.
Oh.
And they were older women. It's like they're all like, what's going on here? So yeah, of course, right? You have all the classes. And
yeah. I used to teach chair yoga at the library, and of course, it was physically being there, and I haven't tried teaching chair yoga online yet, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, my niece is teaching it. She actually works in a hospital, and so she's teaching that one, and it's been going really well. There are people, I mean, I've been teaching people too from all over the country, so that's been kind of neat as well. There's a lot of like social connections, places that I teach. Like I have a program going at the school that they wanted their money back. Like, no, I'll do it next year. And like the library, Springfield, so a lot of things just got put on hold. That's my, optimistic hope that because this is not, the things that existed before are going away. And I think everybody's going to be a little different coming out of this, especially at the beginning, and hopefully this is it. done with it. We'll see.
Yeah, tell me about it. So what you mentioned, the class is online right now, and your future plans of like doing classes in the studio. So you have all those the schedule listed on a website or on social media?
It's on Facebook. It's on the website. Yeah, once in a while I'll do Instagram, but for the most part, yeah, on both of those.
Oh,
And
okay. So,
the other thing, the teacher trainings have. It's interesting too. Is Yoga International approached me. I don't know if you're familiar with Yoga International. They approached a lot of us so they've allowed a lot of community studios to put their classes on there. And so I saw it. I'm like, well, sure. And then from that, I said, so how about if you let me teach some courses? And they're open to it. That they need to pay me for though. You know, those trainings they take a lot of my time. But the teachers that I'm training in the yoga teacher training program right now, it's a split camp. Half of them wanted to continue online and half didn't. So it's like, all right, well, I'll give them what they want. But for me, that won't happen. But it's kind of giving me a lot of ideas, you know, to do some classes online that are trainings. That's something that's accessible, and I think yoga teachers like that because we can do it on our own schedule, and yoga therapists as well. So that I plan on doing for sure. That was the little push, and I've been working on that. I've been so busy, not making any money, but I'm so busy. So it's like really weird.
community needs you, you know, like thank you for doing this for free and helping out the community and just giving out, you know, information, resources to help people out there. That's great.
It feels good in the heart.
Yeah.
It's so good in the bank, but you know, I'm also really lucky that the rent he's letting it suspend until after. So that was a blessing. It's like, well,
Yeah, definitely.
Rent is, I probably would have had to shut down because I couldn't own that much rent. Yeah. So that was a good thing.
Say the social media accounts and then your website so that listeners can reach out to you.
Okay, so it's Heart and Soul, and my kids always had fun with that. They're like Heart and Soul, Heart and Soul. So it's not and, it's just Heart and Soul. Yoga.net is the website, and then it's Heart and Soul Yoga Therapy on Facebook and Instagram and all the other everything you could think of, right? And Mind Body, we're on there too. So,
Awesome.
yeah, find us.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll list those in the description below this video, and we've decided to split this interview into 3 parts. So this is part 1. And part 2, it'll be going into the details of the whole, you know, Yoga Alliance and Yoga Therapy Association. There's like a bunch of different things that are like changing up, and you're able to explain more, Bonni-Lynne, in terms of what's going on there. And that'll be part 2, and then part 3, want to jump into she's having, you know, she has 5 children, 5 kids, and how she's able to balance teaching yoga and life, having time for herself, and at the same time be able to raise these children and be there for them with schools or, you know, with whatever they're doing. So I want to also talk about that, and also her routine in terms of like how she structures her day so that everything works according to, you know, to plan. And yeah, so that would be part 3 of the interview.
Excellent, thank you. Something like that. Yeah, we do the best we can. All we could do.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.